Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori and this is Africa 54. African nations are not withdrawing from the ICC yet. However, African leaders want the ICC to delay the trial of Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta, which is set to take place in November. The African Union held a summit Friday and Saturday to discuss Africa's relationship with the court, which it has accused of unfairly targeting people on the continent while largely ignoring crimes committed elsewhere in the world. Members of the African Union say Mr. Kenyatta should not attend the trial in November if a deferral is denied.
That no serving AU head of state or government or anybody acting or entitled to act in such capacity shall be required to appear before any international court or tribunal during his term of office.
Now, for more insight, VOA's East Africa correspondent Gabe Joselow joins us via Skype from Nairobi, Kenya. Hello, Gabe.
Hi, Vincent.
Yes, first, it was anticipated that actually they'll be calling for a withdrawal. Any insights into why they kind of changed position a little bit?
Well, all we've heard really is that they just couldn't get the support from all the members for a full withdrawal from the ICC. At this point, I'm not really sure exactly which members it was that held out on such a move, but they did decide on this other pretty fairly strongly worded statement instead, calling for the suspension of the trial against Mr. Kenyatta.
Now, in Kenya itself, are you hearing anything officially as to what's going to happen? Will Kenyatta go to The Hague or not?
That's still the big question. We actually heard from Foreign Affairs Secretary Amina Mohammed earlier today, who said that Kenya will continue to cooperate with The Hague. But she also just made a lot of, she supported the AU's move. She made a lot of statements suggesting that, that it wasn't in the interest of Mr. Kenyatta to continue attending his trials. That sitting heads of state, for instance, shouldn't be subjected to ICC trials or be taken away from the countries they're in charge of. So certainly her statements added to a general sense in the country that there may be some moves in the making for Mr. Kenyatta to avoid his appearance.
But this is rather interesting. What they're saying is that you kick down this trial until they serve their terms. Let's assume they win another term that is about, what, 10 years down the line? What are people saying? That's
correct. That's correct. I mean, initially the AU is calling for a one-year suspension of the trial, but that's something that could be renewed every year. So, yeah, the idea is to just keep kicking the can down the road and seeing what happens after their terms are up. But as a lot of activists have pointed out, these charges were brought against Mr. Kenyatta and Mr. Ruto before they were in high office. So they argue that the charges should stick against them almost in a personal way. And not reflect the office.
Yes. What are you hearing from the citizens on the streets of Kenyan cities?
Well, there's been sort of a growing, it depends on who you talk to. There's been, in some circles, a growing support to leave the ICC, saying that, now Kenya has the judicial institutions, the Supreme Court, to handle the cases themselves. Other people say, to stand up for the victims of the post-election violence in 2007, 2008, which is at the center of this whole trial, that you do still need an ICC, some kind of international or other court that can still press these charges. So it's mixed. It's still quite a divisive issue.
Well, Gabe, thanks a lot. Gabe Joselow reporting via Skype from Kenya's capital, Nairobi.